Hello everyone, this is Jeff of Tauflaner Mouse bringing you the weird and wacky world of exotic 12 gauge ammunition. Today we're going to look at the Dynaslug Express. This was submitted by a viewer named Forrest who shared it with us so we could share it with you. Now it's pretty unlikely that you ever heard of this round before. The company did really poor marketing in getting the word out about this product. Sadly, in 2021, all rights were sold, and the Dynaslug has become a dinosaur. These were manufactured by CRP Limited and headquartered in Florida. But in the same email I got from a CRP representative, he told me that these were manufactured in Europe and tested by the NRA. So if they were manufactured in Europe, is it possible that these were made by Sauvestre in France and just rebranded for the American market? After all, the two rounds look pretty similar, don't they? The Dynaslug is a fin-stabilized discarding sabot 12 gauge round. Pretty exotic stuff for a shotgun round. Inside the plastic sabot, which also functions as the gas seal, is the projectile. The nose of the projectile is made out of machined brass, and the overall weight is only 0.53 ounces. That's about half the weight of a normal Foster slug. The muzzle velocity, or at least near the muzzle, is supposed to be 1,757 feet per second. And around 10 yards out, or about 9.1 meters, it's dropped to 1,525 feet per second. That's about 10% loss in velocity in only 10 yards. Let's take a closer look at the similarities between the Dynaslug and the Sauvestre. The most obvious difference is the color of the plastic, but remember, you can injection mold whatever color you want. The next difference is the Sauvestre is made out of lead and our Dynaslug is made out of brass. Now, Sauvestre does make a brass version of their projectile, but it looks quite a bit different than our Dynaslug. The Dynaslug projectile looks closer to the lead version than it does to the brass version. And as you can see here, nothing actually matches up, so they're not the same sabots at all. You can see other little differences between the sabots too, if you look really closely. Even the shapes of the fins are different. The Sauvestre kind of has this tapered trailing edges, and the Dynaslug is more blunt. So this all makes me question if these were even made by Sauvestre or maybe some kind of a bootleg competitor who just kind of took their design and tweaked it a little bit. Another thing I was never able to confirm was whether just the components were made in Europe and shipped over here and loaded in the United States, which kind of makes sense. It would be easier to import just the components than a live shell. Now, I also thought it was kind of odd that they use a clear overshot card on their Dynaslug. It's not needed at all. In fact, the one on the right is a shell I reloaded with fresh powder without a clear overshot card. It's roll crimped just fine. Well, that's enough of me jabber-jawing about these. You know as much as I know about these things now. Let's get out, test these things out, and see how they perform.
Welcome back, Tauflaner folks. Jeff and Officer Greg out here with you on a gorgeous Central Cal Unicornia day. We're bringing you something that might look a little bit familiar to you, but a little bit different. It's called the Dynaslug, and it was sent to us by viewer Forrest. Forrest sent 5 of these over to us, so it's just kind of a little taste of what these slugs will do. They're very similar to the Sauvestre slugs that those kind of slugs that you've seen before here on the show. And they've got a little tail. Jeff's going to talk about that stuff, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but evidently they are good for shooting down longhorn steer. You can see one right there on the box. So they average, well, we don't have a chronograph out here with us today, but we can tell you that they are 0.53 ounces, so it's a rather light slug. We're going to fire them out of Danny's rifled shotgun. We're going to try one out of a fully rifled barrel. We're going to try the rest of them, however, out of smoothbore because they are a sabot slug. They're kind of designed for the smoothbore. So with that, I'm going to shut my yap and let's get to it.
Dynaslug!
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Here we go. It's somewhere in there.
Now, using full rifling, yes, some shotguns have full rifling. The projectile did pretty well. It wasn't super accurate, and honestly, we thought this projectile would penetrate this Kevlar vest, but it just did not have enough energy to do that. Now, a lot of people have this idea in their head that using rifling, spinning the projectile, a projectile that doesn't need spinning because it's fin stabilized, it's somehow going to make it better somehow, but it just adds to the complexity of the ballistic equation. I mean, it still works, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure that, you know, you could eventually sight this in so that it is accurate out of a rifled barrel.
Okay, what happened? I mean, that thing was buried in there like a tick.
That was in there. That was in there pretty dang deep. We've never had one that has been so difficult to get to. Jeff said we shot over to the right of the X, so what I did is I just moved the X, and they were perfectly accurate. No, we dug down into the Kevlar. That went almost all the way through the Kevlar, but not out the back. Probably several layers still back there. It took us forever. Last 15 minutes we've been out here cutting away layers and layers of Kevlar just to get that, and we finally were able to pry out the brass projectile there. So it was worth it. That's a pretty cool little slug there. It's skinnier and smaller than I kind of pictured it, but
yeah, it's like 45 caliber.
Yeah,
45,
46, whatever works.
Yeah, whatever gets the job done.
But it was light recoil. Let's try one out of a smooth bore and see if we get any better accuracy or stabilization.
And what we're going to be shooting at, the lead plate. If you're curious what will penetrate and what won't penetrate the lead plate, we've shot it with a whole bunch of different calibers. If you missed that video, go back and watch it. It's kind of interesting. A lot of people enjoyed it.
It's actually surprising. I was surprised at what made it through and what didn't.
Yep.
Go back and take a look. Well, I was aiming at the pink triangle, and instead it went a little high. Pretty confident that my red dot was sitting right there when I released the shot. So I think the round on this one went a little high. We found there's a bunch of little shards in there.
Oh, wow.
Little brass shards that where that thing just crashed in. And you can see the edge of it in there. And then I found this on the ground out in front.
Oh, okay.
This is half of it. It just looks like it snapped off, and that's where the tail is attached.
Okay. I gave this, you know, it's made out of brass, it's small profile, and it's supposed to be going 1,700 plus feet per second.
It's a lot of feet.
Why, you know, it's like, oh, that's going to go through the plate. No. So.
Yeah, just barely even a bulge.
Yeah,
be felt on the back.
That's too bad. I had high hopes for these things.
Oh, me too. I expected them to grow up and go to college.
Now in this shot, the Dynaslug seems to be pretty darn stable. It doesn't have that, it's not spinning, so it's not paddle wheeling through the air. It just shot a little bit high. Realized that we didn't take any practice shots or anything. We only had 5 of these rounds. So a light slug often shoots a little bit high. And it's just another reminder that different types of ammo have different ballistics. And again, I was rather surprised it did not go through the lead plate, especially hitting it near the edge of the plate.
All right, we're gonna try everybody's favorite, the bag of Quickcrete. This stuff feels like Jeff left it out in a rainstorm.
It's still powdery. It's been in my garage. I just trying to get rid of it, to be honest with you.
Maybe we should clarify before we shoot this, since everybody likes to get in little fights in the comment section. Is it concrete? Is it cement?
Does anyone care?
No, be the judge.
I don't care. It
says right here, concrete mix.
There you go.
Right, here's what we've done. Whoop. We flipped it around. We put a little target on the back. Neither one of us, having felt these slugs the last 2 shots, neither one of us think it's going to go all the way through, but let's give it a try.
It might.
Oh. That was closer.
In our second shot, using the smoothbore, we can see that the slug is starting to yaw a little bit. That's not very desirable, and actually hits the bag a little bit sideways, kind of keyholing. This was another target I thought we'd have no problem penetrating, but it just did not do that.
Welcome back to OG's Concrete Talk, sponsored by Quickcrete. Today we're going to talk about the proper gravel to water ratio in a fence post footing. No, actually we're not. Hey, I dug this thing out while Jeff was messing with cameras. I tore the back of this open. You probably saw it already on the high-speed camera. The round hit a little bit to the right of the blue tape. I was able to dig through all of the gravel down here and found the complete, intact,
except for
ribbed,
half of it.
Well, I mean, not the tail, but the projectile itself is complete. And yeah, nice little ribbed piece of brass there.
It did not go through. It didn't.
Oh, no. It probably about halfway through if I had to estimate. But I just poured it out with a bunch of gravel, so who even knows? All the evidence is poured out here on the ground.
Oh.
All right, in the comment section below, I want you to put your prediction. How many jugs do you think this is going to go through? I have them numbered 1 through F, and that's for you Canadians who don't own a number 6. So
a quick shout out to a channel called Travel Fun 69. Really nice guy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't want to.
Family show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Travel Fun 69. How many people are involved in this channel?
At least 2.
All right. Also a shout out to Bella Lugosi, who wrote me another email today. She's a big fan of Tauflader Mouse and OG's Danger Show, coming to us from behind enemy lines in the Rose City of Portland, Oregon. So big shout out to Bella. She likes this show, and one of the very.
What's wrong with her?
One of the I know. Really, there's other things on TV. There's Netflix and Amazon. All right, we put a little piece of Keith Urban vest behind this.
Child-sized body armor.
I don't think we're going to get a slug to go all the way through and be caught in this vest, but
it may come out the side. Who knows?
Who even knows? You guys have been watching it.
If I try to predict it, I'm wrong every time. I'm wrong on things even I think is right.
Exactly. You're wrong. I'm inaccurate. It makes the world go round.
Yeah, it makes everyone else feel better though.
True story. I've actually had people show up to my class before saying that they can shoot really well, even though they've never fired a live handgun before, because they shoot really well on Call of Duty. Swear to God.
You're serious.
Dead serious. They said that they really didn't need any warm up because they know how to operate a Glock 19 because they shot one on Call of Duty. Thought they could probably shoot about as good as I can with a pistol. So that was an interesting test. Interesting test.
That's funny.
All right, we have these pink and red jugs, pink and red water, and we're going to fire this slug into them and see what they do.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Wow. It's better than I thought. Here we go. Wow. It's better than I thought. Okay, that was still stuck. Pretty dang close, actually. So I was aiming at the X, very slightly right, which has been consistent, but less right than it was before. Went all the way through the jug. This is jug number 2, and we put an X on it just to kind of see where it was traveling through jug number 2. I mean, it stayed true all the way through jug number 2. Jug number 3, right in the little circle there. Jug number 4. It started to lose a little bit of its oomph, so it didn't.
Yeah, we're not getting the hydrostatic shock anymore.
It did rip the jug underneath the handle here.
Okay.
A little bit of hydrostatic shock, but we start losing that shock in here. This jug full of bubbles. Jug full of bubbles.
So I think there's some is there some in the bottom of that one?
Yeah, water.
Oh, okay.
Bubbles in here.
Okay.
And then we move into jug F for our Canadian friends. It punctured right through jug F and actually came out the back. You can kind of.
It went all the way through?
All the way through.
Okay.
And you can tell by the little flap of whatever that is, plastic there, that it was not moving all that fast when it exited. It didn't just blast its way out. It more or less squeaked its way out. And I found the nice little fully intact brass slug right here at the base of the jug.
Except for the tail.
Except for the tail.
Gotta quantify that.
Just the slug.
We've been losing the plastic tail. It's on there when it enters, but it's apparently very fragile.
Yeah. So this one was more accurate, so better, I guess. Still kind of a strange, disappointing round.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, down here on the ground, you'll see our Puddle of Disappointment. And Puddle of Disappointment was the name of my unauthorized autobiography. You can pick that up anywhere books are sold. But we have one last test we want to do for you. We always finish out with a gel test, or almost always.
It's a double gel test.
What?
Yes.
Oh, you've just gone nutty now.
I know.
I can't be a part of this.
It's two.
Okay.
Gels in one.
Are we doing 2 gels in one?
Yes.
I was actually kind of impressed that the slug made it through all 6 of the 1-gallon jugs of water. Now let's see how it does against not one, but 2 blocks of clear ballistic gel.
There we go. Make it all the way through? Sure.
Yeah.
Go.
Now, as you can see, the slug made it through both gels pretty easily. Just like the water jugs, the slug tracked straight through, didn't deviate at all. Now with a slug or a bullet, you normally see a lot of penetration or a lot of energy transfer. In this case, we saw a lot of penetration. Now this slug is the one that I reloaded with the fresh powder. The original slugs I don't think were that old, and I don't think the powder degraded it or anything like that. Forrest told me that he just recently purchased them, in fact.
Looked like a good shot.
Looked like a good shot. It hit a little bit right of center again. I don't know why they're going right. It punched right through. I don't know if you can see from that angle over there, but there's just a nice straight little track through there with 3 little wings on it. So
Okay.
Losing parts or what was going on there. And then it zipped into block number 2. It sent our ball and dirty duck flying through the air. And as it made it through number 2, it tracked even further right, came out and punched the edge of the vest here, and we found it in the Kevlar on the outside of the vest. It did not penetrate anything in the vest. And it's got a little piece of the tail assembly still stuck to it.
And where's the fins at?
I don't know. They were down
Darn
there.
it.
Did they wash away? You know what? If we had a 200 by 200 foot tarp, we would have. Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So yeah, the fins were
Most
right
of it's there.
You can see right there though where the weak spot is. That's where it's going to break off.
Yeah. It's just
Plastic and narrow. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There you go.
that was it. These things were a little underwhelming. They didn't perform quite as fantastically as we expected.
Okay, like I was talking to you earlier, if they were super accurate, I'd be excited. If they would have went through the lead plate, I would have been, whoa, yeah, it would have really excited me.
Yeah.
It's hard to get excited about these things.
This thing doesn't really have any super redeeming qualities. It's a cool shape. It's a cool design. This one just didn't have the oomph to impress us.
Yeah.
So I think here on Shark Tank we're going to take a pass. No, we do thank you guys for coming out for yet another slug video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, even though it was underwhelming. What else are you going to do?
I sent out okay, I just want to mention this to everybody that I sent out a message to Patreon the other day asking again to reduce or eliminate your pledges or pledge to another channel, because we're doing really good now. I haven't had a video demonetized in the last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Which other channel would you suggest? Like a knitting channel or a different gun review?
Some kind of danger show or something. Some people, I didn't even mention you, and they said, "Oh, I'll send my money to Greg over there," which is good.
That.
Or I might even suggest Buffalo Outdoors.
Yes. Let's do that one instead. Buffalo could probably use it a little bit more.
The reason for that is because his computer crashed, and he has to. He's using like a borrowed computer, and he needs to build a new system.
Yep. So go over there if you have some Patreon dollars and you want to move them around. Go over and shuffle.
Yeah, you're not going to break my heart. The entire reason for asking for viewer donations just is not there anymore.
Yeah.
No other channel is going to be telling you that. They're going to. They want your money.
Yeah. Have you ever heard that on YouTube anywhere? Please don't stop sending us money.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
And that it goes as far, if channel members and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
We're doing good. I mean, I never wanted to get rich, and I don't want to get into a higher tax bracket, and I'm doing good,
So if you wouldn't mind going over there, if you happen to be near your phone or something, go over and switch it over to Buffalo's Outdoors. Just
and watch his videos. He's a
yeah.
straight, honest guy, great guy.
Yep.
I love him. He's just
he's got a Kentucky twang that can take a one-syllable word and make it into 3 syllables. It's amazing.
He's a very sincere man.
Yeah, we've been in touch with him. We talk with him a lot off camera, off YouTube. I text him every once in a while and find out how the family's doing and send him some stuff. So he's a very cool guy to know, and definitely worthy of your Patreon dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
Appreciate it. He will be the most appreciative of it. We just throw money around and light cigars with it.
We're not at that point,
We
but
just stick it to the counter.
I just want to
money.
I just want to be comfortable. That's it. You know, I don't want to stress out every night. It's like, man,
And you're here in sweatpants and slippers, so I guess you're comfortable.
No underwear.
Well, earlier you were okay.
Okay.
So anyway, let's get back on track. Yeah, the slug was a little underperforming, but if you had everything perfect here on Tauflader Mouse, what would you do?
You'd have nothing to complain about.
Oh,
yeah.
God, they would complain about something.
Well,
you notice we'd have no tarp on the ground?
Oh, we forgot the tarp again.
No heat-seeking metal detector that can detect the rounds as they land in the hot sand. So anyway, well, thanks for stopping by. We'll bring you another something else next time, and maybe it'll be a little more impressive. Speaking of unimpressed, if you want to go over to OG's Danger Show, I just put out a new video this morning about a wacky Turkish pistol. So I think you might like the...
It's called the Janik.
The Janik, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, there you go.
I'm not going to... That's not even going... We'll leave that as a teaser.
You're going to light up the viewers if you call it a Janik.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next show. Stay safe out there.